Hello there everyone, my name is Alex, and I'm the host of Cartridges and Consoles, and this episode officially marks 3 months since Cartridges and Consoles first premiered. So to celebrate this excellent and very specific milestone, I've decided to open up our first bit of fan mail for the series. This one comes in from
Name and address withheld.
And he writes, Dear Alex, I really like your episodes of Cartridges and Consoles, but it always seems like you only pick good games to review. I mean, your lowest review is a 5 out of 10, which is at worst average. Do you just not own any bad games, or do you willingly choose to not review any games you absolutely hate on your show? Keep up the great work. Sincerely yours.
Name and address withheld.
Well, first off, my friend, how did you find my address? Second off, I'm a very positive kind of guy, and it reflects well in my ratings. Every game I play on the series, I always find multiple positive attributes about, and most of the time, those redeeming factors either match or outweigh the negatives about the game. So while yes, even though the games I picked for every prior episode have a good rating, I didn't pick them only because I like them. I picked them because I can see the good through every game. In fact, just to prove that this is the case, I'm going to go onto Backloggery, where I have my entire game library saved, and open a fortune cookie that will give me a random game to cover in today's episode. Alright, and the game I'll be reviewing is... Fine. Gig is up. Let's just get this over with. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Mario Party stood as one of, if not the, most iconic party game franchise, with its longtime developer Hudson Soft putting out a great game at an average of once every year. However, after over a decade of spearheading the series, Hudson Soft was bought out by Konami in 2011, putting the state of the franchise in uncertainty. Nintendo ultimately entrusted the future games onto their subsidiary partner ND Cube of recent Wii Party success, and while their first 2 entries were okay enough, the trend sadly didn't last. In 2015, they released their 3rd game in the Mario Party series on the Wii U, a game some can argue was and still is the worst home console game in the franchise, Mario Party 10. In this episode of Cartridges and Consoles, we'll dive into ND Cube's 3rd try at making a Mario Party game, and show how the 3rd time is not always the charm, by detailing what exactly went wrong with this game to make it as bad as it is. Mario Party 10 is the 10th home console game and the 13th mainline game released in the Mario Party series, and is also the only game in the series on the Wii U, marking this home console the first to only have one Mario Party title. Off to a great start. The game has 2 central modes, starting with Mario Party. This basic party game option plays very similarly to the game's predecessor, Mario Party 9. Everyone moves across a linear board at the same time by traveling in a singular vehicle, best known as the party car. The driver, or captain of the vehicle, rotates between all players, and everyone is individually collecting mini-stars as they traverse the board. You play 2 boss minigames at the midpoint and end of the board respectively, and at the end of the game, the player with the most mini-stars is declared the winner. However, the main selling point for this game is the 2nd central mode, the brand new Bowser Party. In this mode, one person takes control of Bowser using the Wii U gamepad, while the party car members, known as Team Mario, work together as a team to try and run away as fast as possible. If Bowser catches up to the car, a Bowser minigame ensues where Team Mario has to dodge Bowser's attacks to refrain from losing hearts. Bowser wins if every party member's heart count drops to 0, whereas Team Mario wins if they collect the Power Star at the end of the board. Lastly are extra modes, including a minigame tournament which has you and up to 7 friends compete to stay alive in minigames, the Bowser Challenge where you play every Bowser minigame in a row and try to deal as much damage as possible, and lastly Toad's Room, which has the in-game shop, a photo studio, and a challenge board. Now, before I dive into the negatives of this game, there are at least some positives that I'd like to bring attention to. The first is the game's music, with there being some really good songs among the expansive soundtrack. The boards in the game are also pretty good, with each one having a unique mechanic that makes them stand out from each other. From boos that haunt you and take away your mini-stars every turn, to a treasure-hoarding dragon eel with some great prizes, to even airships that rotate every turn, all the boards feel distinct and stylized enough, even with the controversial car mechanic being present in all of them. The minigames offered here are also solid enough. They're not groundbreaking like some games from past entries, but they all have their distinct level of charm attached to them and do provide fun experiences. Alongside these, this is Donkey Kong's first playable appearance in a Mario Party game in over 10 years, which is pretty cool. What else? The disc art is nice, I guess? Yeah, I can't stall this out much longer. Let's just talk about what's wrong here. Starting off our list of negatives is the lack of a story mode. Every mainline Mario Party game in existence has had at least an implied story mode, with every entry since the third game in 2000 having a dedicated campaign. Mario Party 10, however, marks the first time that there is absolutely no story whatsoever. Once you boot up the game for the first time, everything minus some characters is unlocked, and there's no real set goal to achieve except to just party. This makes the single-player aspect of Mario Party, something that has been present since the start of the franchise, completely absent from this game, meaning there's really no dedicated mode if you want to play by yourself, completely wiping away the enjoyment of it. Additionally, while the boards do have their own special mechanics and stand out in some ways, they also come off as a little too short and also bland in some aspects. I personally argue there's only one truly innovative board in the game, and said board has you scaling airships, dodging bullets from an opposing ship, and fighting a mini-boss in the board. But honestly, that's it. The other boards just don't have the same flair as past Mario Party boards, or just don't feel as fun. Even Mario Party 9's boards, while retaining the same gameplay style, all felt unique and had moments that were fun. But here, it just feels like these boards lack enough unique factor to make them stand out. Not to mention the fact that there's only 5 boards in the game, which, at the time of release, put this game in a tie for 11th place of 13 games in terms of number of boards. This means that you have very limited replay value once you're done with all the boards. And even worse, the shorter boards means there's even less replayability than usual. Also, with this game being on the Wii U, you'd expect the gamepad to play a big role in this. And if you expected that, you're about to be extremely disappointed. Outside of Bowser Party, there is absolutely no use for the gamepad. In Mario Party, all the gamepad shows is Bowser in jail with dice block numbers keeping him locked up. This thing legit has no purpose unless you want to play Bowser Party. Speaking of which...
Pardon my French.
Bowser Party fucking sucks. Remember how there's only 5 boards in Mario Party? Well, that number is brought down to 3 for Bowser Party. And worse, it's the more bland boards that got priority here. As for the actual gameplay, Bowser Party goes down as one of the most unbalanced modes in all of the Mario Party franchise. As I mentioned, it's up to Team Mario to run away as fast as possible from Bowser, who rolls 4 dice blocks after everyone in the car has had their turn. If Bowser catches up to you, you play a minigame. However, if he doesn't catch you on the first dice roll, he has the opportunity to re-roll. Worse, if he still doesn't catch the car in the first turn, or he catches the car but one member on Team Mario doesn't lose any hearts, Bowser immediately gets angry, which raises the difficulty of the Bowser minigames significantly, resulting in more lost hearts. This comes off as borderline unfair, as no matter how good or bad Team Mario starts, there is still a very likely chance Bowser will catch up, and an even higher chance that he'll get angry and you're already put at a disadvantage, having to survive more difficult minigames that can take more hearts. The boards themselves don't help at all with this balancing issue. The most balanced board of them all is, ironically, the embodiment of Bowser's Castle, whereas Mushroom Park is too in favor for Bowser as it has no real opportunities for the car to move farther away, and Whimsical Waters is too in favor for Team Mario as it has too many ways to move farther faster and no real ways that Bowser can stop you past a 50-50 choice. Worse is that if for some reason or another Team Mario is sent back at all, and Bowser happens to be directly behind you, it immediately starts a Bowser minigame. This means if your luck is as bad as a black cat owner who drove under a ladder and threw a mirror store on Friday the 13th, you can be forced to play non-stop Bowser minigames in a row. Plus, there's only 10 Bowser minigames, with half of them only appearing when Bowser isn't angry, which is basically never. So you're always going to have the same handful of minigames come up over and over and over if Bowser catches you, making the game feel severely repetitive. Worse, with how imbalanced Bowser Party is, there's no real telling how long a typical session can last. Bowser can wipe out all of Team Mario faster than a nuclear bomb, or Team Mario can continue fending off the big boss with everything they got and somehow come out on top by a hair. And while yes, that leaves a lot of variance, it still makes the mode wildly inconsistent and straight up terrible to play. Alright. I think that's every negative I can pinpoint about this game.
Right. I forgot. I forgot about Amiibo Party.
Amiibo Party is the third main mode in Mario Party 10 you only unlock if you have a compatible Mario series amiibo. How does it work? Well, imagine the classic Mario Party rules where you collect coins and trade them in for Power Stars, except on a square board that's as themed as a branded version of Monopoly. You can only roll the dice by tapping your amiibo on the gamepad, and there's special badges you can collect that barely change up the experience at all. Depending on the amiibo you use, you'll get a different board, but there's barely anything to this mode other than the fact it does the bare minimum to appeal to the crowd calling for classic Mario Party rules to return. It's not that fun, it's extremely boring, and it really has no reason to exist other than to add meaning to these
Dumb plastic figures that only had use in Smash Brothers or on collector shelves!
Mario Party 10, without a doubt, is one of the worst games that has ever released in the Mario Party franchise. It does have some mild positive attributes, but the flaws heavily outweigh them, with bad balancing, boring gameplay, and a partial lack of understanding for what made Mario Party special being the most prevalent problems. Worse is that some of the things I feel the developers tried here definitely had potential, but they missed every single shot they took, and it could have potentially spelled doom for the franchise as a whole because of their flawed execution. The game has bright spots, but it's not worth your time at all unless you have 5 players who want to play Mario Party. And even then, the mode that's specifically designed for 5 players, it's still not worth it. Mario Party 10 on the Wii U gets my rating of 2 cartridges out of 10. God, I need a vacation.